Books with Brandywine, and welcome to my Halloween episode. The book I'm sharing with you guys today isn't very Halloween-y, but I'm really excited to get to share it with you guys anyway. This is The Dogs of War, The Courage, Love, and Loyalty of Military Working Dogs by Lisa Rogak. I'm so sorry if I pronounce that wrong. It is R-O-G-A-K. You can tell this is a book that my mom has read because it's got all its little tabs. And even like the pages are underlined. You can see that. Even like the back's underlined. Which is something my mom does in all of her books so she can remember all of the details. And I love getting to read a book that my mom has read because it just makes me feel a little bit more part of her, and I love seeing what interested her in the books. But yeah, I love this book. I actually bought it right after we got our dog, which is she's a Norwegian elk hound, and her name is Belladonna Took. I think I mentioned her in my very first video. And I was really curious about just all things working dogs. We wanted to train her to be, I don't remember what they're called, because this was like 5 years ago. But the dogs that go to hospitals and to like old folks' homes and stuff, and they're just like super fluffy and super cute, and everybody loves them, and it helps them just feel better about where they are, like brighten their day. We were going to train her for that, but she is a very wild child, and so she's not got the demeanor for it. But while we were thinking about doing that, I got to read all these other books that were really cool about working dogs, and one of them was this book. And I loved this book. It starts, it talks about everything working dogs. So it starts with the very first dog that was a military dog, and it goes all the way through to how dogs have been used by different countries in different time periods for different wars. And it talks about like some really sweet stories about dogs that weren't necessarily like supposed to be military dogs. They were just strays that were found and ended up becoming mascots. It talks about how like in Vietnam, people would volunteer to help set up the bed for the dogs and their caretakers so that they could be in the bed closest to them, because the dogs would sense when people were coming up the fastest and they'd have warning. There's just all kinds of cool stories in this book, and I love this book. I would recommend it to anyone that loves dogs, is interested in military stuff, is interested in dogs working in military stuff, is curious what kind of training the dogs get and what happens to the dogs after they leave the military. Just curious about anything in general. It's a really fast read. It's really interesting. It's like, the author is just great. Like, she does a great job. It is nonfiction, so these aren't like made up stories. These are like actual stories of actual dogs in wartime. But, yeah, I keep looking at the back. I don't know why I'm not actually reading the back. But, I love this book. And this is definitely, like, the fact that I still have it and it's been on my shelf for like 5 years, even though I moved and I had to make some cuts, like, this book made the cut. That's how good this book is, even though I'm sad that there were ever any cuts. But yeah, so go check out this book. It is called The Dogs of War, and I will put a link down to it so you guys can find it. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a happy Halloween. Stay safe out there.